Good day to all of you. Today we will do the eighth stanza of Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats. The first two lines of the eighth stanza go like this: Forlorn, the very word is like a bell to toil me back from thee to my soul self. Now, forlorn is a word which is repeated again in this stanza. It was the last word in the seventh stanza. Now, what is the meaning of forlorn? Forlorn means someone who is very alone, unhappy, and uncared for. Now, if we go back to the seventh stanza and see how the poet used the word forlorn, we'll see that Keats had talked about some characters like the biblical character of Ruth, who was feeling very alone in a foreign land, and how there were these fairy tale characters who were trapped in high castles surrounded by dangerous seas, living a very lonely, unhappy existence, and how the bird's song, the nightingale's song, had uplifted them when they were living in this kind of a forlorn existence. So, here also, when this word is repeated again, forlorn, he says that the very word is like a bell. Like a bell means bell sort of indicates or sort of wakes you up. It's very similar to, for example, you are sleeping, having a kind of a dream, and suddenly your alarm clock rings. So it breaks your dream and brings you back to reality. You may be dreaming about something very pleasant, and then you come back to reality and you realize that you have an exam to appear or go to college. So, this forlorn word acts like that bell. That is, it breaks the poet's reverie, and it acts on the poet's mind like the ringing of an alarm bell, and reminds him of his own forlorn condition. To toil me back from thee. From thee means the nightingale. To my soul self. Soul alone again means alone. To my brings him back to reality, to his own forlorn condition. So we see here that the poet's vision is interrupted when the nightingale flies away and leaves him alone. So there is a kind of a delusionment, disillusionment, and it brings the poet back to reality. It breaks his preoccupation with the bird. Adieu, the fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. So, adieu is a French word which means goodbye. So, as the nightingale's song recedes, the poet is left wondering whether this was all a dream. Did he really leave behind the real world for an enchanted world with the nightingale? So he is pulled back into his own mind, into his own soul self, into his own world. He is, in a way, disappointed that his imagination is not strong enough to create its own reality. And one can also see the nightingale's power here in transforming the poet's mental state altogether. The song of the nightingale is like a kind of a drug or a strong wine, and it takes him away from the humdrum world that surrounds him. The fact that the nightingale's song induces in him a feeling of exquisite happiness, this fact cannot be separated from the fact that there is something drug like, uh, toxic about its influence. And the song is kind of seductive, it inspires in him a longing to leave this world and disappear into the nightingale's world. So he admits over here that the nightingale is like a deceiving elf. What is an elf? Elf is a supernatural creature, unearthly, and also distorts. So the nightingale, in that sense, is like that deceiving elf, and because it is a spirit, it is unearthly, and it also distorts the reality or truth of the world around us. It is not different. What is not different? The nightingale is not different from a deceiving fairy like creature called the elf who had seduced the knight at arms in Keats's another poem, a ballad, La Bella Dame Sans Mercy. So here he is saying that adieu to the bird, because the bird has started going away, and the poet can hear the song receding, and he says that since it has brought him back to reality, he is in a way disappointed that imagination cannot cheat so well. It is not so strong to continue to keep him in the world of the nightingale, because it has brought him back with a jolt to reality. And he calls the nightingale such a deceiving elf who has, in a way, taken the uh, poet into another world. It has separated him from this world into the next. But imagination has not been able to keep him there for long and has brought him back to this world. We'll continue with the same stanza tomorrow.